Can you hear me now? It shows my microphone's working. Can anyone hear me? Cat OG said yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know what the hell happened. Freaking welfare StreamYard. Damn, they should have put that in the big beautiful bill. Fix my effing StreamYard. Okay? Man. I'm going to have to write me a letter to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Put something in your big beautiful bill that helps me out. Like my StreamYard. Exactly. Temu StreamYard. Exactly. Like eating a steak from Aldi's. Damn it. Well, we know who to blame for that. Man, I hate when I get thrown off like that. Goodness. So what I was saying before I had to go fix my Aldi's StreamYard was that this weekend I'm probably just going to be binging on football, and I'm going to make my husband watch this documentary about Kendra Lakari. There she is with her now ex-husband in all her glory. A couple of years ago, I did just a small video on this. Kat loves my videos because, well, I taught Kat everything she knows because I have very sharp and tight editing skills. Okay. So I made a video a couple of years ago. Well, lo and behold, the bitch got out of jail last August of 2024. She is still on probation, so she can't speak to any of her victims. Any of her victims, which is basically the whole town. Because if you watched the documentary on Netflix, the police were bringing in student after student after student after student, doing these forensic phone dumps. And the whole time it was Kendra. The FBI had to get involved. Let's take a minute and say hello to everyone. Now, of course, I hear a ton about her daughter and people saying, I can't believe her daughter stuck by her. Her daughter's still not allowed to have any contact with her. And I just can't quite get over the daughter's reaction to when the police confronted her and told her, hey, all this that's been going on for the last year and a half, it was your mom. Your mom was doing it. Your mom was doing it. The whole thing. Melanie said, poor Chloe shouldn't have threw them carrots. Chloe threw those carrots at Adriana. Hell yeah, she did. There's a lot of mean girls in this, but the main mean girl is Kendra. Let's get to it.
The people in my high school I've grown up with since kindergarten, basically. I first met Owen in 7th grade.
They were just like a high school couple in a movie.
We were like best friends.
But the more friends you have, the easier it is to be betrayed by them.
So they said they were the golden couple. Everyone just thought they were meant to be together. Kendra and Sean became best friends with Owen's parents. They did everything together. What people didn't know is that Kendra, who has quite a few screws loose, felt threatened by the relationship that Lauren had with Owen. You know, the puppy dog eyes and, oh, I love him. I want to spend all the time with him. I don't want to do anything with you anymore, Mom. I want to be with Owen. Owen. They call it a form of Munchausen's by proxy, but she used a phone. Because you see, with all of her text messages she was sending, and they are raunchy, they are rude, they are disgusting. Why am I getting notifications? What the hell is going on? They are disgusting. Let me turn my phone off. Ridiculous behavior. Crazy. Good morning, Guitar Man. They were raunchy. They were disgusting. I didn't know they were that bad. The news didn't exactly put all this out. And so Lauren honestly starts believing Owen was really cheating on her and everything like that. So the text messages stop for a while and then they start back up. Why? Because still her daughter wasn't really having anything to do with her. And these messages are gross. Gross. And they're saying that she did all this because then she was getting tons of attention in this tiny little town in Michigan. That's what they're saying. I just think she's an evil ass bitch. And so she loved being the hero. She would talk to the superintendent. She would go to the principal. She would go to the police. She would talk to the sheriff and just demand someone do something. She would text people and say, oh, Lauren looks anorexic. We're going to talk about that. All she does is cry. She won't even eat. I don't know what to do with her. And then on her other phone, she is simultaneously texting her daughter to keep this bond together. So then her daughter runs to her, Mom, I have another text. Mom, I have another text. This one, Mom, I have another text. Oh, honey, I'm right here. I'm right here. What are we going to do about this? I promise I'm going to take care of this. This went on for a very long time, and it's sick. It's real sick.
Something dangerous could happen.
A high school girl in Michigan was cyberbullied for more than a year.
And who turned out to be the suspect shocked everyone.
It was so bad to the point where I didn't want to even go to school anymore.
It was relentless. I mean, 1 a.m, 3 a.m.
I would question how I thought about myself.
There's some sick messages.
They were enough to make a 53-year-old man blush.
I am not easily offended. I don't really side-eye that often. I certainly don't blush. I've kind of been around the block a few times. These messages made me blush. Here's one. Owen and I down to suck finger. My fucking tits in his face, fucking making him horny, make me cream. She sent that to her daughter, pretending to be another girl. I think there should have been charges on her with a sexual element, and she should be on the registered sex offenders list.
It's crazy how having a phone can become the worst thing that happened to me.
Things are about to get so much worse.
Look at these texts. Here, let's just look at some of them.
So much worse.
Sucks to suck, bitch. Worst fucking bitch alive. Called her an anorexic whore. Told her to off herself. And that was discussed. Why would she tell her daughter to hurt herself? She was actually hoping. Now, this is according to a psychiatrist that spoke to Kendra. This isn't me. I'm not a head shrinker. That said, she was hoping that she would, because then she would get more attention. She'd go, look, all of this harassment has made my daughter hurt herself. Okay? These messages to a child, her child, to Owen, I call this SA. Besides being psychotic or whatever reason they slapped on her. And I was a real bitch in high school, okay? If my mom got me the wrong color of red for Zebra Day, I'd come fucking unglued. I can't depend on you for anything. I better just do everything myself. You didn't even get me. This isn't Claremore Zebra Red. I mean, I would just come just out, just pieces, pieces, pieces. And this chick just looked at her mom like, huh? 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 I don't know if it was shock or what. Some people theorize that she knew the whole time because she also liked the attention. I don't know if I'm ready to go there yet.
Sorry, not sorry. Each and every day, I'd feel like I lose trust in everyone.
You had to be careful of every single word that you said, or else you could look guilty.
Really just all started to look like me.
She could
They were about to hang Chloe with this. And don't get me wrong, Chloe was a little bitch, okay? She was definitely, you know, those girls in high school where you know who they are, you know, like the pink ladies. We're going to rule the school. Okay, so there was this clique of girls, and a lot of people had issues with Chloe. A lot of people had issues with Chloe. And Chloe didn't do it. We know Chloe didn't do it. Chloe's a mean girl. Chloe still owns it. Hell, you can look at Chloe's socials right now. Chloe owns it. But Chloe damn sure didn't do this. It was Kendra.
be sending them to herself.
Everything was great, and then, things started happening.
The parents wanted to confront people and start pointing fingers.
When they involve the FBI, you can just see how fast this escalates.
They made quite a scene at school.
I wanted to try to protect her and keep her safe.
That's what Kendra said. I wanted to try to protect her and keep her safe. And I feel bad even doing this show because I'm already giving the ending away. Kendra did it. Because I'm seeing all these things on social media and people are like, I didn't think it was going to be Kendra. I never suspected Kendra. I'm like, yeah, it was Kendra the whole time. So if you haven't seen the documentary, if you haven't seen it on Netflix, I already gave away the ending. It was Mama the whole time.
Protect her and keep her safe.
I found one phone number that kept coming up.
We gotta nail this son of a...
I really didn't know what to say.
This is disgusting.
No way.
Crazy that someone that close could do something like that.
All right, let's get in the time capsule, shall we? And we go back 2 years when your old buddy Brooks, with all her tight editing skills and great thumbnails, made this video. Michigan mom makes a plea deal for cyberbullying her daughter. Kendra Licari, Michigan mom, true crime. Lots of things haven't changed with my hashtags. Theme song hasn't changed either. Good afternoon, everybody. I've been going back and forth for several months with one of you in particular. I'm in a sports bra. Damn, trashy ass Brooks. But several of you reached out to me about this, and it's long overdue to talk about this. Kendra J. Licari is her name. Licari. Out of Michigan. I'll tell you exactly where she's at. Mount Pleasant, Michigan. For over a year, I've heard in some articles 2 years, she was cyberbullying minors, one in particular, her own daughter. Okay, she made a plea agreement. This is right after I got my lip fillers, so I was having a hard time talking because I wasn't used to all that juice in my lips. Bear with me. She accepted a plea deal rather than facing a jury, probably because they had a lot of digital on her, for stalking minors. Now, we've talked on this channel a lot about it's one thing with the kids. It seems like the kids know how to use the phone. The kids know how to use the internet. Some don't, but most do. But these adults, what are they thinking? And I stand on that. I stand on that. I couldn't imagine being in junior high or high school, because we know how girls are. I don't know how guys don't really pay attention to social media. They just don't. Chasing Justice said, good morning. I'm so glad you're talking about this. I just watched the documentary. I'm telling you, we're going back in time to where we talked about it 2 years ago. But I stand on that. I think about some of these women we see on the internet and they have children. Okay. Lips comes to mind and a few others. Could you imagine facing your peers in school and somebody walks up with their phone and they go, hey, Chrissy, so I saw on Facebook that your mom is dancing to Megan the Stallion on TikTok. What's going on, Chrissy? Or going to the next locker going, Susan, I saw that your mom was on Facebook and she's asking for prayers, but won't say why. What's really going on in your house? Or the next locker, Angel P, I was on Snapchat and your mom Snapchatted me. Oh my God, that's so weird. Like, what is going on? I don't have time to talk to your mom. Why don't you talk to your mom? These women do some real fucked up shit on the internet. Okay? And Kendra, she wears the crown. What in the hell are they thinking? Who on earth would cyberbully their own child? She's listening to her daughter day after day after day cry, complain about being harassed, and she's the one doing it. We're going to talk more about this, but look at this with me and tell me what you think. She was sentenced on April 26th. My understanding is she's supposed to get 5 years. If she spends 6 months in jail, I'm going to be shocked. Well, 2 years ago, Brooks on the screen, this is Brooks from the future talking to Brooks from the past. She actually wound up serving 19 months, which is about the same amount of time Kendra was harassing all these people. 19 months. Now, she's still on probation and she cannot have any contact with any of the victims, which basically is the whole town. I'm going to be shocked. Some of these people need to get the hell away from the internet. You look at this and you tell me what you think.
A high school girl in Michigan.
Matthew, I about lost my coffee. Oh my gosh. Matthew said, I have to catfish myself before I leave the house every day for self-confidence. That's a great comment. Can we please have a round of applause for Matthew, silly AF? That was great. That was great. Warn me before you say something funny, because we don't want old Brooks up here having coffee come out her nose. That shit hurts.
And was cyberbullied for more than a year, sometimes receiving up to 12 threatening messages a day.
And who turned out
12 a day? There were some days it was 80 a day.
to be the suspect shocked everyone. Reporter Eric Lloyd has that story.
When the case first came into our office, it was very bizarre and almost hard to believe.
What was presented to Isabella County Prosecutor David Barbary was a police report saying this woman, Kendra Licari, had catfished and harassed her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend for months.
We're talking about several hundreds of text messages, over 1,000 pages of discovery in the case.
Licari is charged with 5 crimes, mainly for stalking, as the messages went on for more than a year.
But by and large, it was mostly just harassing type text messages, demeaning, demoralizing, and kind of mean text.
According to the complaint, police say Lakari used software to hide her location and used several different numbers and area codes to appear to be other Beale City students sending the messages. Then Lakari herself helped her daughter report it to police.
If at any point this became something that they didn't want to engage in or continue, they could have stopped. But rather than stop, it continued to snowball into this sophisticated plan where they try to conceal their identity and throw the police off their tracks.
Barbary says they may never find the actual reason for all of this, but the impact left the two victims distressed and broken.
Someone else coined this term, it wasn't myself, but they called it a version of cyber Munchausen syndrome, in the sense that, this seems.
Obviously, this makes zero sense to me, but that's what the psychiatrists, the experts say. That it is she was using the phone as a way, it's a Munchausen's thing, because everything was to keep her daughter dependent on her. My daughter's being harassed. My daughter's being harassed. And every day she sees her mother going, I'm going to go to the school and talk to them again. Let me see your phone. I'm going to walk in there and we're going to find out which one of these girls is doing this. We are going to find out. We are going to find out. And driving her ex-husband, Sean, crazy. What are we going to do about this? What are we going to do about this? And there he is. I'll go talk to the sheriff. So then she's sitting right there with her daughter. Okay, Daddy and I are going to take care of it. You just sit right here. Can I do anything else for you? No, Quasimodo, you're doing enough. Thank you. Thank you.
Seems to be that type of behavior where you're making somebody feel bad or need you in their life because of this behavior.
Lakari is back in court for an official arraignment on December 20th.
Well, she's out now. She can't have any contact with any of them. I think until, let's see, 2027, I believe is what I read. Now, the DA there is saying stuff like, well, some of these were just downright mean. Yeah, this is mean. Dead, hashtag bang bang, hashtag suicide. Now, Sean had a bang bang at the house. Did she really want her daughter to do that to herself? That's beyond mean. That's evil AF. What about this one? No one ever wants your anorexic flat ass and tits. No dude ever touching that pussy, you nasty slut. Lauren replied, you win and I give up, so please stop or tell me what I have to do. Can you believe that? Those are the lightest ones I can put up. These are the lightest ones I can put up. I'm telling you.
Tormenting you every single day wasn't a stranger hiding behind a screen, but someone closer than you could ever imagine. In 2020.
Kat, are you reading my notes? Kat, are you looking on my paper? Are you sitting in the desk next to me? Oh my God, Kat. I actually have that written down. If Sean was doing this, there would have been some sort of sexual element attached to these charges. True story. Kat is 1,000% right. If one of the dads was doing it and sending those messages to a girl or a boy, no, it wouldn't be no felony stalking and you're out 19 months and you got to check in with your parole officer every Friday and you have to take your pills and you have to see your psychiatrist and you have to have a job. It wouldn't be that way. No.
2020, a teenage couple in a small Michigan town started receiving anonymous text messages. At first, they seemed like cruel pranks, the kind of drama you'd expect in high school. But the messages didn't stop. They grew darker, more obsessive, and far more dangerous. Day after day, the couple was bombarded with threats and lies. Friends became suspects. Family members were interrogated. Even the FBI had to step in. And then came the reveal. A twist so shocking that millions of Netflix viewers still can't stop talking about it. This is the story behind Unknown Number, the high school catfish.
And if you haven't watched it, woo! First off, I'm going to go ahead and break the ice and let you know that just in the first hour of it being out, it got way more views than I will ever have in my lifetime. Okay? Lisa said, I wonder why they didn't block the number. To be quite honest, Lisa, they did. But through that Pinger app, she kept making new numbers, different area codes, all that stuff. Sailor said, Cat's reading your mind, Brooks. Cat is doing mind control on me. Cat's looking at my paper. Cat is spying on me. Cat is reading my mind. But no, Cat's 100% right.
At first, it looked like the beginning of a storybook romance. Lauren Licari and Owen McKenney were just kids in Beale City, Michigan, a place so small that most of the population could fit inside a high school gym. In towns like this, everyone knows your name, your family, and often your secrets. Lauren was described as smart, bubbly, and full of energy. Owen was athletic, charming, and had the kind of easygoing personality that made people gravitate toward him.
Okay, quit with the Norman Rockwell background. Get to it. Come on. We want to hear the juice.
When the two started dating in 7th grade, classmates noticed right away. They weren't just another couple. They were the couple. Teachers saw them walking the halls together. Their peers envied them. And soon people began calling them the golden couple of their school. To Owen and Lauren, life seemed simple. Classes, football games, weekends with friends, and the innocent excitement of first love.
Yeah, we know.
But in a town that small, nothing stays untouched. Attention has a way of turning into jealousy, and admiration can sour into obsession. The cracks began to show in October 2020. Lauren's phone lit up with a text from an unknown number. The message was blunt, almost mocking. Hi, Lauren. Owen is breaking up with you. She laughed it off at first, thinking it was some kind of joke. Teenagers pull pranks, especially in small schools where drama spreads faster than wildfire. But as the days went on, the texts didn't stop. Another message came. He no longer likes you and hasn't liked you for a while. It's obvious he wants me. Now,
this is from her mother. Owen's cheating on you. It's obvious he likes me. People have their own theories about this case. Mine's pretty simple. The mom is psychotic evil. Okay. The daughter is quite codependent on her mom. She was groomed that way. But some people will actually say that considering the sexual explicit tone of those messages, that Kendra really had a thing for Owen. I don't know. I'm not the expert.
Now it didn't feel like a prank. It felt personal. The words were sharp, designed to cut right into her insecurities. What Lauren and Owen didn't know was that this was just the opening act, the very first signs of a nightmare that...
Look at her. She would do this right in front of her daughter. She would do this stuff at the dinner table. Anybody want more spaghetti? You need to eat more, Lauren. Oh, hold on. I have to send a text. Lauren's sitting right there going, oh my God, I got another text, Mom. Look.
Would soon consume their lives. Because once those anonymous messages started, They never really stopped. At first, the texts seemed like a cruel prank, the kind of thing teenagers do when they're bored. But very quickly, it became something far darker. Lauren and Owen began receiving dozens of messages every single day. Not just once or twice, but sometimes 40, even 50 texts, all from numbers they didn't recognize. The tone was aggressive, mocking, and disturbingly personal. Whoever was behind the phone seemed to know them, their schedules, their conversations, even the smallest details of their relationship.
Because the person that was doing it confessed, it's all, the evidence is all there, is Lauren's mom. There was even a picture sent from a wedding with Owen, family, and his cousin Adriana, who it appears to me this girl wouldn't hurt a fly. She's one of those in high school that just stays under the radar. She's not there to make friends. She might have a couple of close friends. She's not there to make waves. She does her work. She goes, home. She doesn't want to do all that stuff. She's not into the socializing. Hell, they brought her to the police department asking her if she was the one doing this.
Some of the texts accused Owen of secretly wanting someone else. Others tore into Lauren, hitting her with insults meant to break down her confidence. It was like the sender knew exactly where to strike, every time. And then came the threats. Messages urging Lauren to harm herself. Words designed not just to hurt, but to destroy. The harassment became relentless. Even after Lauren and Owen tried taking breaks from their relationship, the texts didn't stop. If anything, the messages got bolder, taunting them for splitting up, mocking them for thinking it would all end. Imagine being a teenager. Every time your phone buzzes, instead of seeing a friend's message or a notification, you're met with hate. Imagine being scared to walk into school because you don't know who's behind it. Classmates became suspects. Friends felt like enemies. Everyone.
This tore the school apart, okay? The police keep showing up to the school. Parents show up to check a kid out because they have to take them to the police station so they can do a phone dump. Everybody's talking. This is all the rage in the school. Who do you think's doing it? 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 And the whole time, it was Kendra. Never even heard of a pinger app before. Never even heard of it. Hell's she doing? And the FBI had to come in. They got a warrant for Pinger. Pinger returns the warrant and says, here's the IP address. They're like, oh, Verizon. Send a warrant to Verizon. Verizon comes back and bingo, it's Kendra.
Looked guilty. By the time the harassment reached its peak, Owen admitted he didn't even want to go to school anymore. Each day felt like stepping into a trap, surrounded by people he could no longer trust. Lauren, too, started doubting Owen. The messages were designed to poison her mind with suspicion, and sometimes they worked. This wasn't just bullying. This was psychological warfare, and it was only getting worse. But when parents finally decided they couldn't ignore it anymore, the search for answers would send shockwaves through their entire town. By late 2021, the situation had spiraled out of control. Lauren and Owen weren't just dealing with a few cruel texts anymore. They were living inside a nightmare that refused to end. Their phones would light up dozens of times a day, each message more venomous than the last. Parents worried that this was no.
Now, I don't understand how kids get their schoolwork done with a cell phone on them anyway, because we know that they can't put them down. Hell, there's women my age that can't put them down. But this is going on during school. And at that time, they didn't have a cell phone policy. from my understanding. How are you able to concentrate on your studies when you're getting messages like this? My fucking tits in his face. Him horny, making me cream. How on earth can you get your studies done? She's sick. She's sick. And if a man sent that, there would be totally different charges than felony stalking.
No longer harmless bullying, but something much darker. So the families turned to the police. At first, local authorities believed it had to be someone close. After all, who else would know such personal details about two small-town teenagers? Investigators began questioning classmates, even Owen's cousin. Suspicion spread like wildfire, and friendships shattered under the weight of doubt. But the harassment didn't stop.
Ilyanka said, oh my God, it's like the mom was masturbating. Yeah. Now, I don't want to think about old Kendra in the bathtub with the wand and the phone, but she's got quite an imagination. Well, look who's back. It's our old buddy Paper Slut. Everyone say good morning to Paper Slut. He's had a very rough time lately. He recently lost his sister, and we all need to be here for him. It was a very, very bad thing. So please, some internet hugs for our friend.
Stop. In fact, it seemed to grow bolder the more the police got involved, as if the sender was enjoying watching everyone scramble for answers. When investigators checked the phone numbers, they hit a dead end. The texts were coming from apps that generated random numbers, making it nearly impossible to trace. Every lead seemed to collapse. Every theory turned into frustration. By 2022, the case had become so relentless that the FBI was called in. Agents sifted through more than 350 pages of printed text messages, thousands of words filled with threats, lies, and manipulation. They looked for patterns, slips, anything that could lead to the stalker. And then, slowly, the pieces began to fall into place. Subpoenas went out to the phone apps that had generated the numbers. The agents traced IP addresses, followed the digital trail, and narrowed the search. The discovery shocked everyone because the cyberbully wasn't sitting in a classroom. They weren't hiding in the back of the bleachers. They
shocked the shit out of me. Not the documentary, because I already knew the end of it. But when I started watching these news clips and reading the articles, I'm like, her mother did this for 18 months?
Weren't even a teenager. What the FBI uncovered would change everything. For nearly 2 years, the question...
And these two are a real cakewalk, okay? They know how their daughter Chloe is, and they proudly own it, okay? They do. I know Chloe threw those carrots at Adriana. I know she did. Chloe is not that nice of a girl. And like I said, her Instagram, her socials, I'm telling you, she still owns it.
Haunted everyone in Beale City. Who could hate these kids enough to do this? The answer was unthinkable. When the FBI finally traced the messages back to their source, they discovered something nobody, not Lauren, not Owen, not even the police, had suspected. The stalker wasn't a jealous classmate. It wasn't a bitter ex-friend. It wasn't some stranger hiding behind a screen. It was Lauren's own mother, Kendra Licari, the woman who...
Those damn teeth of hers. God.
Was supposed to protect her daughter, comfort her, and guide her through high school, had secretly been the one tormenting.
Those aren't even veneers. God gave her those that Mr. Ed grill.
Her. She had created fake numbers, sent thousands of texts, and poisoned her daughter's first relationship from the inside. When officers confronted Kendra, body cam footage captured the moment her world collapsed.
Can you imagine when she's off probation and she reconnects with Lauren, which I think she will? I don't know how that's going to go, but Lauren still seems to be very naive. Could you imagine Lauren, who has a boyfriend now, going, I want you to meet my mom? Could you imagine the dude when she goes, yeah, I want you to meet my mom? He'd be like, hell nah. No, I'm not meeting your mom. I'm not meeting your mom. No. Your mom's not getting my phone number. Hell no. I don't care how much therapy she's had.
Sitting across from investigators, she was told the evidence was undeniable, and the look on her face said it all. It was like watching a mask crack in real time. To the outside world, Kendra had been a mother fighting to protect her child from an anonymous bully. Behind the scenes, she was the bully. For nearly 2 years, she had lived a double life, weaponizing technology to manipulate, threaten, and control. And when the truth came out, it was more than just a scandal. It was a betrayal that left an entire town reeling. The day the truth came out, Beale City stopped in its tracks. A quiet Michigan town, suddenly at the center of a case so bizarre it sounded like a Netflix script. Kendra Licari, the same woman who coached her daughter's basketball team, the same mother who sat in meetings with school officials demanding justice for Lauren, was arrested. The charges: cyber-stalking a minor and using a computer to commit a crime. When investigators laid out the evidence in court, it was staggering. Nearly 12,000 texts and messages sent over 20 months, each carefully disguised, each designed to convince Lauren that she was being hunted by
20 months? 12,000 text messages? I don't think I've sent that many in my entire life. No. Well, maybe, because yesterday I felt bad for Chrissy and I was trying to get a hold of her and I was blowing her phone up, but it wasn't 12,000. Well, hey, Seth. TGIF. TGIF. Sailor, how on earth does a mother think this up? They say it's Munchausen's. So she was stalking her daughter in order to get sympathy. And she was the belle of the ball there in town. She was the one going to the school board, talking to the superintendent, talking to the principal, demanding the sheriff's attention. I mean, she was in everyone's face with this. So no, they didn't suspect her. But when the FBI got everything back, they were like, it's her.
Enemies all around her. In December 2022, Kendra stood before a judge and admitted what she had done. Her voice barely carried across the courtroom as she pled guilty. The sentence.
We got a plane flying over. It's flying low. I think it's heading towards Lisa's area. It's going towards the Air Force Base. Paper Cut said, I bet that was odd when the IP addresses came back to the same house. Yeah. Took them a while. Now, look at her. There's just she freaks me out. Those eyes, the teeth. Actually, Karma, this big old bomber, no one's getting bombed. It's a type of airplane, is headed your way. because it's definitely going to tinker. Ooh, that was loud. So, I mean, look at her on the screen. Crazy as fuck. And then look at this. She looks like Quasimodo. Kendra. Quasimodo. Kendra. Quasimodo. Uncanny. Uncanny.
20 months to 5 years in prison. For Lauren, the betrayal cut deeper than anything a stranger could have inflicted. This wasn't just bullying. It was her own mother destroying her trust, her relationship, her teenage years. Owen's family, too, was stunned. What began as young love had ended in a criminal case that would forever follow their names. Even after sentencing, no clear motive ever emerged. Was it control? Jealousy? Some twisted obsession with her daughter's life? The truth may never be fully known, but what's left behind is a chilling reminder. Sometimes the monster isn't hiding in the shadows. Sometimes it's the person sitting right beside you. For Owen, life didn't just return to normal after the truth came out. The damage was already done.
And Owen won't have anything to do with Lauren. Nothing. He gave an interview recently, I think to People magazine, and just said he has no ambition to ever speak to her again. So he still holds a huge grudge.
In school, he carried an invisible weight. Every time he got close to someone, the paranoia crept back in. What if they weren't who they said they were? That constant second-guessing followed him through his teenage years, making friendships harder, relationships nearly impossible. Yet, Owen refused to let the past define him. By the time he graduated in 2025, he had poured himself into baseball, the one thing that gave him an outlet for all the pain and confusion. His discipline and focus earned him a spot as a college athlete at Hope College, proof that he wasn't going to let betrayal completely break him. But even with the success, the questions never stopped haunting him. Why would she do this? Was it jealousy, spite, or something darker? No matter how much time passed, Owen was left searching for answers he might never get. And that lingering uncertainty is perhaps the cruelest part of all. Because healing is hard when the wound was carved by someone you trusted the most.
They were good friends. Kendra and his mom were good friends. They had basically set up their own little task force between the two of them to find out who was harassing the kids. They would confide in each other. They would have little, almost sit campfire style and talk to Owen and Lauren. Like, now we're going to take care of this. We're going to take care of this. Did anything happen today? Tell me all about your day. Well, I did see this one kid with a phone, and I did see this one girl, and she was looking at another girl's phone. And oh, Kendra, Quasimodo, Quasi Kendra, she had that shit right to memory. Because I'm telling you, it's just a couple days later, she would take that information and she would start harassing the shit out of them with it.
When the cameras stopped rolling, one question lingered. Why did so many people agree to talk about this painful chapter of their lives? The answer, according to the director, was simple. Because silence only protects the guilty. By speaking out, they hoped to expose the hidden dangers of digital harassment and show how easily trust can be weaponized. This story wasn't just about Owen or Lauren. It was about how quickly betrayal can spread like poison, reshaping lives in ways that...
This is a little more than betrayal, okay? This is almost 2 years of messages like this. Owen and I down to suck finger. She sent another one, said, Owen said he's down to fuck. Okay? Owen's a child. Dead. Bang, bang. My fucking tits in his face. No one ever wants your anorexic flat ass and tits. No dude ever touching that, poo nanny, you nasty slut. Uh-huh. Trash bitch. Don't fucking wear leggings. Ain't no one want to see your anorexic ass. She is vulgar. Now, let's look at a couple videos. All right. I actually recorded these myself with my phone on my TV. You know, Pam Tate style. Y'all heard Pam Tate on the show on Wednesday when people were mad at her, and all she would say is, Brooks, did you see my screenshots? Brooks, did you see my screenshots? Her screenshots are her sitting in her living room taking a picture of her television while she's watching Prayer Garden. Those are not screenshots. She just kept up with that. I said, I don't care about your screenshots. I don't care about them. I sent you those screenshots, Brooks. I know you did, but I don't need pictures of your TV of you watching Prayer Garden. Okay, so I did this Pam Tate style. I actually did my own screenshots. This is when the police came to talk to Kendra, and they confronted Lauren with the news. What's up with all the booze bottles on the dining room table? Hell they got going on there? What they got going on? So he's telling her, your mother's been doing this. He said your mother got caught up in something, which is the way you should talk to a kid. Okay? And she jumps up and starts hugging her daughter. And she's just like, what? Okay, so this is when her husband Sean comes home and they confront her. On top of everything else she's been doing, she hasn't had a job in over a year, yet she's been telling her husband she has a job. And on my Sanyo TV, I turned on the captions for you guys when I did my Pam Tate style video. Read the captions. Debbie said she couldn't understand it. One lie after another. All right, this is from Reflex. And they do a lot of commentary on Netflix shows, which that'd be something that I could do easily because I do watch a lot of Netflix to the point where on my remote where it says Netflix, well, and Prime, it's worn off. You can see a little bit of red on one and a little bit of blue on the other on the remote. I blame it on OJ.
Netflix has been dropping one shocking documentary after another. An unknown number, see the high school catfish, is one of the most talked about ones right now. The story follows two teenagers from Michigan, Lauren Licari and Owen McKenney, who were caught up in a terrible cyberbullying case that went on for almost 2 years. What seemed like just a cruel prank turned into something much darker, leaving both teens, their families, and their entire community in shock. The whole documentary focuses on how Lauren and Owen's young relationship was pulled apart by threatening and manipulative messages from an unknown number. At first, people thought it was just other kids at...
You know, and it's so sad. This is her first crush, his first crush. They're hanging out. They're buddies at school. They're eating in the cafeteria together going, hey, can you get me another chocolate milk? It makes the cafeteria pizza go down better. I mean, that's all. I mean, come on, that's what's going on. And then suddenly they're getting things like this. And this. And this. The whole thing about the leggings, well, who do you think bought them? Kendra bought them. Of course she did. She's the mom. And then her daughter gets to school and she sends a message to her saying, fucking trash bitch, don't fucking wear leggings. Ain't no one want to see your anorexic ass. Oh my gosh. It's cruel. These aren't adults, they're kids. And I'm still pissed that head petting judge and the head petting DA, they love that. It's okay, you were having a bad day. This is your first offense. No. This is way more than that. Way more than that. I'm telling you, had it been a dude sending the messages, they'd put him in the same loony bin Warren Harris in.
Their school being cruel. But when the messages kept coming and got more disturbing, the FBI stepped in, and the truth about who was behind it left everyone stunned. So where are Lauren and Owen now? Did they manage to stay together after everything they went through? And what really happened to their relationship once the cyberbully was exposed? Let's go through the story step by step and see where both of them stand today. It all started back in October 2020. Lauren and Owen had been dating for about a year at that time. They were just young teens enjoying first love, sports. But then out of nowhere, Lauren got a text from an unknown number claiming that Owen was about to break up with her.
Okay. And when confronted, Kendra said, well, I didn't start it. I just continued it. No. She started it and she continued it. Then she plays a victim and says, at that time, I don't think I could even stop. I don't think I could ever stop. What? What? Betty's on her son Samuel's phone. Thank you. It is child abuse. She should be on the registered sex offenders list in Michigan. And the felony stalking should have been 5 for Lauren and 5 for Owen. Not served concurrently. No, they should have been stacked.
It seemed weird, but they brushed it off at first. Things got much worse almost a year later when the texts started again. These weren't just harmless pranks. Whoever was sending them knew Lauren very well. They even called her by her nickname, Lo, something only close friends and family used. The messages picked on her looks, mocked her style, and even turned sexual at times. Remember, Lauren and Owen were just 13 at the time, so the whole thing felt extra disturbing. The messages didn't stop. They started coming in every single day, dozens of them filled with hurtful words and cruel suggestions. After Lauren and Owen eventually broke up, the messages grew even darker. The texter told Lauren that she should kill herself and claimed Owen's life would be better if she wasn't around. It was harassment at its worst, and it pushed the teenagers into a nightmare. When the situation got out of control, local Sheriff Mike Main stepped in to investigate. He questioned Lauren, Owen, and their friends, trying to figure out if someone at school was behind it. At one point, suspicion even fell on Chloe Wilson, one of Owen's friends. But there were too many unanswered questions, and
They were about to hang old Chloe up. But Chloe's a tough girl and did not give a rat's ass. Her parents were like, hell no, we're going to Florida for spring break. They can figure it out. And her parents are so damn twisted, they probably wouldn't have cared if Chloe did do it. If you watch the documentary, you'll understand how Chloe's parents are. Chloe the carrot thrower.
eventually, the case was handed over to the FBI. Bradley Peter, an FBI liaison, dug deeper and finally cracked it wide open. The person behind all those texts turned out to be someone no one could have guessed. Kendra Licari, Lauren's own mother. The reveal shocked everyone, not just Lauren and Owen, but the whole town of Beale City. Kendra had a background in IT, so she knew how to cover her tracks. People thought she was working at Ferris State University at the time, but in reality, she wasn't working at all. What she was doing instead was sending hundreds of anonymous messages to her own daughter and her daughter's boyfriend. In the documentary, Kendra claimed she didn't send the very first messages. She said she only started texting later to help figure out who was really behind it. But Sheriff Maine and the FBI strongly believe she was the one behind all of them from the very beginning. Kendra herself admitted that once she started sending texts, she couldn't stop. Some of the things she said in the documentary made her actions seem even more disturbing. When asked if she worried Lauren might actually hurt herself after receiving constant texts telling her to die, Kendra coldly replied, "I can say I was not scared of her hurting herself." She was arrested and later pleaded guilty to...
Okay, this is so twisted. So, confronted by investigators, were you worried that your daughter might actually hurt herself? And by the way, this is the lightest one I could put up. When you watch the show, you're going to see the others. Oh, I wasn't worried about her hurting herself. But further psychological examination said she was hoping she would, so she would get more attention. Okay? That's pretty messed up. That's very messed up.
2 counts of stalking a minor, one for Lauren and one for Owen. She was sentenced to 19 months in prison. At her sentencing,
she was sentenced to 5 years and she served 19 months, and she's on probation for the duration.
Owen and his mom spoke in court about how much her actions had hurt them. They also talked about Kendra's odd behavior, like how she kept showing up at Owen's sports games, even after he and Lauren broke up. Kendra served her time and was released on August 8, 2024. During the documentary, she opened up about her own past, revealing that she had been raped at 17.
Which, by the way, didn't happen. Okay? Now, I feel bad for anyone that has been attacked in any way. Okay? In any way. But she lied. She lied. Please don't take. It's like those people that, let's say, Jenny has a headache. And I go, "Oh, Jenny, I have headaches all the time too." Fuck your headache, Jenny, because mine is so much worse. Mine is so much worse. Jenny, you have no idea how much my head hurts. We know the type. More lies, more lies, more lies.
She claimed that painful memories resurfaced around the time she started sending the texts, and she admitted she was scared to let Lauren grow up because of what could happen to her. Still, that explanation didn't make her actions any less damaging to Lauren and Owen's lives. So what about Laureen and Owen? Did they make it through all this together? Unfortunately, the answer is no. Lauren and Owen had been together for over 2 years, and their relationship started out sweet and innocent. They met in middle school, bonded over athletics, and quickly grew close. Their families even got to know each other. But once the text started, their relationship began to fall apart. Laureen started doubting Owen because of what the...
It's Lauren, AI voice. What is wrong with your voice? Goodness, it's not Laureen. Lauren.
Messages were saying. The constant drama led to...
Maria O'Sullivan, where you been? Why didn't she just change her number and block the other number? Because her mother was doing it. Her mother was doing it. Her mother would know her new number. Her daughter can't do it. She's a child. And they blocked tons of numbers. Her mother would get in the Pinger app and she would invent another number.
fights between them. Eventually, Owen thought breaking up might stop the bullying, since that's what the texter seemed to want. But ending the relationship didn't stop the harassment. It only made it worse. For Lauren, the breakup was heartbreaking. She called Owen her first love, and she admitted in the documentary that she had hoped they would get back together once the nightmare was over.
Maria, I don't know that you know that much about this case. You said simple solution, change your number. But remember, it's her daughter. Kendra is the mom. Lauren's the daughter. If she changes her daughter's number, who was like, what, 13, 14 at the time, she's going to know her daughter's number. And Kendra, the mom, was the one doing it. I have a feeling, actually, I know for a fact, Lauren wasn't paying her own phone bill. She was on a contract with her parents. Her mother is going to know her number. Now, one thing Owen's family did, they just basically took Owen's phone and said, no, we don't want you harassed all day. You don't need your phone. You know, we're going to figure this out. Okay. Owen changed his phone number. Guess what? He's going to give it to Lauren. And guess what? Her mom's going to have it. You can change numbers 500 times. The one doing it has access to all of this.
But that never happened. About 19 months into the cyberbullying, Owen tried moving on and started dating another girl from Pinconning, Michigan. But when the texter found the number of his new girlfriend's mom and began harassing her too, Owen didn't want to drag someone else into the same pain. He broke up with her to protect her. By the time the documentary was filmed, both Lauren and Owen admitted they weren't in touch anymore. Owen said he hadn't spoken to Lauren in a very long time and didn't think he ever would again.
He gave an interview and said he never wants to talk to any of them again. He doesn't blame Lauren, but he doesn't ever want to be involved in that again. Because a boy in high school with all that going around, that's a lot. Okay? That's a lot. Anybody ever had a period stain on their skirt and you're walking around and you didn't know? And you didn't want to go to school for the next week? Okay? That's bad enough. This is totally different.
Lauren echoed his words, saying they simply don't talk. Fast forward to today, both of them are trying to move forward with their lives separately. Owen graduated high school in 2025 and has already started attending Hope College in Holland, Michigan. He's also continuing his passion for sports as part of the college baseball team. It looks like he's focusing on his studies and athletics, building a future far away from the chaos of the past.
Good for them. They've all graduated now. They're all off to college, all that kind of stuff. And now we have this Netflix documentary. And Owen, his parents, Lauren, her dad, Chloe, basically anybody that was in the show are getting straight effing paid from Netflix. Because this is a huge show on there. Guess who's not getting a paycheck? You guessed it. Quasi Kendra. You know why? Because you can't profit from your crime. Now, in her mind, she did the documentary to help Lauren. Because she's a nut. She's a nutcase. And I'm just hoping those big old fat checks that are coming through are going to help them not care so much about what Kendra did. You know? Because like right now it appears that she has a little too much power. Damn, Quasi Kendra.
Lauren, on the other hand, is preparing to study criminology in college.
Lauren, study hard. You need it. because I have a feeling you're going to reconnect with your mama, and tigers don't change the stripes.
After everything she went through, it makes sense that she'd be drawn to understanding crimes, justice, and human behavior. While she has a strained relationship with her mother and is not allowed to see her since her release, she seems to be focusing on her own healing. Lauren admitted that part of her wants to trust her mom again, but deep down she doesn't think she ever truly can. Her Instagram profile is now private, which shows she values her privacy after being in the spotlight for such a painful reason. But fans have noticed that she seems to be in a new relationship with a boy named Zane Cooper. Her profile.
Poor Zane. Poor Zane. Poor Zane. Because in 2027, Quasi Kendra will not be on probation anymore, and poor Zane is going to have to deal with mama if they're hot and heavy and they're staying together. I want all these kids to do good in life, even Carrot throwing Chloe.
Picture shows them together at prom, suggesting she's trying to find happiness again after such a dark chapter. The story of Lauren and Owen from unknown number, the high school catfish, is tragic but also eye-opening. It shows how damaging cyberbullying can be, especially when it comes from the person you least expect. For Lauren, finding out her own mother was behind the torment left scars that will take a long time to heal. For Owen, being dragged into the drama caused him to lose his first love and affected his trust in people. The two aren't together anymore and don't talk today, but both seem to be carving out their own paths. Owen is chasing his baseball dreams at college, and Laureen is focusing on her studies and her future in criminology.
And that's how it should be. And Kendra is sitting in her own shit in Pontiac, Michigan, probably working at a Family Dollar or something like that, because part of her probation, or she goes back to jail, is that she has to give them a phone dump every Friday. She cannot communicate with any of her victims, which is basically a whole town. And she has to have a job. Oh, and she also has to take her meds and see a psychiatrist. Seems like a pretty good deal to me. All right, so let's look at this. This is when old Sean confronted Kendra and told her GTFO. He's like, no, if you stay here, I'm going to do something stupid. You've already done something stupid. And then she's going to be gone. Because then she's going to be in foster care with the state of Michigan. You got to go. You got to go. You got to go. I'm going to call your parents. I'll talk to your dad face to face. I don't want to go with them. I have to stay with her, Sean. No. 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 You got to go. Because if not, I'm going to wring your fucking neck. You haven't worked in a year. And then he found out after she hadn't been making their house payment and she was hiding all the mail. So he didn't even know they were in foreclosure. So what's old Kendra doing now? What's she doing? Well, she's not cashing no Netflix checks. Sorry, not chicks. Checks. She don't get none.
Netflix is no stranger to shocking true crime stories, but its latest documentary, Unknown Number Teps the High School Catfish, has left viewers stunned, heartbroken, and even confused. It's not just because of the cruel and manipulative messages at the center of the story, but because of who was behind them. The real-life case follows a woman named Kendra Licari from Michigan who secretly...
Okay, a little off topic. Who does Lauren look like? I mean, there's Lauren on the screen. Here's her parents. Looks like she has her dad's nose. She certainly doesn't have her mom's teeth. She has blonde hair, which could be youth, Could be Miss Clairol. I almost wondered if she was adopted. Hence the extra protection. I have heard that people that adopt, even though we're protective of our children regardless, there's something about an adopted child that makes people like uber protective. I don't know. That's never come out. She's a beautiful girl.
Tormented her own teenage daughter with anonymous text messages for over a year, pretending to be a classmate and even creating fake identities. She sent threatening and humiliating texts that nearly destroyed her daughter's life. What makes the story even more terrifying is that she managed to pull this off while living under the same roof as her daughter.
True Crime Beat said she looks like Gabby Petito. You guys want to hear something? You know, there's some real nutbags that are allowed to use the internet. There's a lot of nutbags out there. I think there needs to be a mental health evaluation before you're allowed to use the internet, particularly social media. There is a post going around saying, I never believed Gabby died, and look, there she is. That's when Brooks plugged in the phone. Brooks turned it off and said, that's enough internet for me today. That's all I can do.
All while presenting herself to the outside world as a loving mother. The Netflix documentary digs deep into what really happened, why Kendra did it, how she was eventually caught, and where the Licari family is today. The story is so strange and unsettling that it feels almost impossible to believe. Yet every detail is real, and that's exactly what makes it so chilling. The heart of this true story revolves around Kendra's daughter, Lauren, who was just 13 when the text started. At first, Lauren thought the messages were coming from another student.
Oh, hell, that's exact same video. They just changed the title. Exactly, Karma. Not today, Satin. Satin, we don't have no time today for that. You guys ever do that? When you see something, you're like, yeah, I'm unplugging. I've had enough crazy for today. Let's look at these videos again. Okay, so this is when they confronted Lauren with what her mother had been doing. I would have been terrified. But she jumps up and she grabs her daughter and starts hugging her. However, this is my favorite part, when the husband comes home and he's confronted with, oh no, she hasn't had a job in a year, but she's been spending her time doing this. This is what she's been doing. Well, I think I'm more mad than when I got done watching the documentary or when I did the video 2 years ago in the sports bra. I don't want to go with him. I have to be with her. He's like, no, get out of my face. Get out of my face. You won't have those twofer problems if I'm here, because I'm going to wring your neck. He's pissed. He's like, can you put her in the middle of this? You haven't worked in a year. You did this. You did that. You put her in the middle of it. You got to go. I'm done. You got to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Fine. I'll call your parents for you. I'll call your parents for you. Okay, they're on their way. They're heading north now. I called them. She is a whole bunch of mess. You know? And Sean by himself had to continue raising Lauren, got her through high school with all of this going on. With all of this going on. Well, hey, Mix-a-Lot. just tuned in. What did the mother do? Oh man, you got to look at it. You'll have to rewind a little bit because Brooks has got to get on with her day. And I will see everybody probably in Discord here in about 30 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed the show. And if it's okay with you guys, we will talk about it again sometime next week. Because there's a lot of psychological profiles coming out that could be interesting, could be more maddening. I don't know. Lola, Brooks, I emailed you days ago to get in Discord. I didn't get it. Can you email me again? It's CLL72020 at Gmail. Oh, okay. Let me try this again. CLL2020 at gmail.com. Yeah, I didn't get it. Because the minute I get it, I always look to see who it is. And if it's somebody I have absolutely no who idea it is, well, I'm going to send it to Kat either way because she's our managing moderator and she's co-owner of the Discord. But if I'm like, I have no idea who this is, and I think, well, maybe Kat does, it's like, yeah, I know who that is. Just make sure you tell me you're Lola, you're a member, all that stuff. Well, Mod Squad, again, you hit it out of the park. You guys are the absolute best. And I hope you guys have an incredible weekend, okay? And don't forget to watch that documentary. You guys are the best. See ya on Monday morning.